Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of the Pixel Crashers podcast, a podcast where we make fun of people for no other reason than it amuses us. I'm joined once again by the scrub Kev the Gamer.
PC gamers are arrogant twits and racists.
Xaiphen.
Gay racist! I should not be excited about that.
Gotcha. And Deathstroud09.
Yes, my machine not only allows me to play video games, but it makes delicious cooked...
His camera's frozen again.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is. At least you're in that thinking pose with the hand on your chin and everything. So it's not
it looks elite. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
He just looks.
Yes,
he is so.
I'm starting a Patreon to get Xaiphen a PS4 Pro because, as we know, PC gaming is too hard.
Oh my!
It's too hard. We did the article a few episodes ago. I'm getting Xaiphen. I'm starting
the
to
best PC gamers have machines that are dual purposed to make, cooked bread.
Yes.
AKA
yeah,
toast.
so they're called toasters.
It's called an all AMD system.
Yep.
Yes. Well, it does a lot more than that. It'll heat your house.
It's great.
No, I thought that was Samsung. That's Samsung's job, right?
Well, maybe.
Sure.
My Galaxy do be getting hot as hell.
The fun part about it is I just realized that I totally don't have my camera running. Nobody can see me. Am I actually even here?
Apparently, nobody's camera's working worth a shit right now except for Kev.
No, my camera is working fine. It's just the stupid
Kev,
whole
do you have a
technological limitation of only one thing can use your camera at a time.
PS4 for more.
It'd be funny if
We're
Kev
gonna
had a
open
real
these
camera.
PS4s.
Morty Xbox One Scorpio because PCs are too hard.
Yeah, they are. They're really hard. That's what she said. Anyway. Oh, where is my camera? Oh, the reason for this all is because I don't even have... Yeah. Anyway, so games. Games and stuff.
Yeah, games.
Have there been games happening at all this week? I know Kev never plays any video games. He's a scrub.
Bruh. I ran through Gears Ultimate at the end. I finished up this week.
Uh-huh.
I beat Gears Judgment last week, and I just started XCOM 2 and Forza Horizon 3.
Uh-huh.
And NBA 2K. So, I'm busy, bro. I'm busy.
Sure.
I'm not like
to
these
say
frauds
that.
out here that have gaming channels but don't play games.
Yeah,
I can't do that.
I don't understand people that have gaming channels but don't play games, kind of like Kev.
Like me.
Don't stream as much as they should.
That's
I've been
FPS
streaming
Russia,
like 3 days a
right?
week. What you
FPS
talking about?
Russia, yeah.
Speaking of
That's FPS Russia,
streaming, I'm officially streaming right now. I'm re-streaming Mort's channel.
Seems legit.
Well, hashtag get Xaiphen to stream more often. I still want to get Joe on Twitch.
It's I can see it as
Should have
a
heard me
good...
last night. Struggling. Funny.
Hey, look! Hey, there we go. Hey, that's a giant camera of me. Sweet. Anyway, so now that's situated on there, you guys can see the very top of my head. That's the way I wanted it from the get-go.
No, I only see... Oh, there we go. There we go.
Oh, okay. Well, that went from worse to better, worse to worse.
Exactly.
This is
All
exactly
right.
why we're getting Morty and Xbox.
Yes, technology. It's impressive, and we all are excellent at it. And stuff. So tell us about Forza. Having fun with that?
Yeah.
That was
PC
kinda
performance
fun.
is sketchy.
It's alright.
PC performance is really sketchy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still... I just don't want to play it on my Xbox. Like, all the assets are too small. I think I need a bigger TV. I have like a 48-inch TV. And at 1080p, I think it's just that 48 inches from like 10-15 away. It's too small. So I'm looking at probably getting like a 60-70-inch TV at some point, so I can enjoy my consoles again without hurting my eyes.
See, I was playing Forza 2, the Forza 6 Apex, whatever's free on the web store on PC, and that didn't seem to run too bad for me. Granted, I'm
Oh
restricted.
yeah, Forza
to 6
Apex
frames.
runs amazingly, but they're two different studios. Turn 10 does the standard Forza games. Playground Studios does the Horizon games.
Yep.
I went with the free option. That's where I went. I'm like, oh, this one's on pre-release. Sure, I'll try it out.
Yeah. Problem is, Horizon's actually a better series.
Oh, there's a lot of people that I say that. I hear it a lot, actually, is that, Horizon is the better of the two. But I don't know. Like,
I've played a good amount of both of them. Horizon's the better series.
You sure?
Positive.
You guys heard it here first. Kev the Scrub is claiming one game is better than another. And stuff.
Overwatch better than Team Fortress. You heard it here first.
Anyway. Xaiphen, what have you been playing this weekend, and what have you been doing other than just playing? Because I've heard this rumor that you might have been doing some like streaming stuff or something.
I get one streaming video up. I think all of 2 minutes or 5 minutes maybe of a Mech Warrior Online run, which is a game I've been playing regularly. Little bits of Warframe, Overwatch, whatever. I've been spending more time trying to screw around with technology. Notice the pretty beautiful face you can see right here, right now. And then I have an actual gaming. So other technical projects have taken a little bit of priority in gaming, like trying to get streaming up and running. My lovely cable internet service provider here has very crappy upload speeds, not enough to support actual live streaming. So I was trying to run that through my phone system to my phone while on a separate network from my cable and use both at the same time. And I had limited success. It was a pain in the ass to set up, but it worked. So I'm going to try and get that on happening on a more regular basis.
All I hear is more reasons to get him a PS4.
Yeah, because PS4s, I mean, they can do
PS4
streaming.
PS4 doesn't fix my internet. Somebody's going to come into my house like, you get more internet.
Listen, brah. We'll get your internet up and running. So what we're going to do here is we're going to trick out the internet box on the side of your house with some spinners. And then we're going to coat the coaxial cable in gold. Bam. You now have better internet, according to Xaiphen.
MLG! And don't forget, he needs at least 100 megabit meg down.
No.
Yeah, he needs 100 meg down.
No, the joke is on, like, Exhibits Pimp My Ride, they would take a car that run like shit, and then they would, like, trick it out with all these flashy shit, but never fix the mechanical problems.
Yeah, I've seen those ones. They just made it look nice.
They make it look pretty.
Saying was, because the whole common misconception. Oh well, if you want to have good game performance, you have to have fast internet. Dude, it don't matter if you have fast internet and your ping sitting at 250.
Well, typically the better quality internet you get, the lower ping you get. But that also depends on where the game servers are that you're playing on, right?
That's the bigger deal.
Like, for example, I mean, I know Travis, he tries to play games on all kinds of crazy, high ping connections. Like,
how am I, dude? How else am I supposed to play with my friends in Japan? I mean, what? Come on.
His camera just... I wish we could have still slide images. You know those memes where it shows like a person making different facial expressions as still images, and then like a block of text below them, like, I wonder if I do this, but then if I did this, but I don't know if this happens. And it's just like, we should do that with Travis. Just have like an assortment of still images that we can put up in front of his camera.
That could also possibly work for me too.
Yes.
Well, we have to get your camera working first.
Yeah.
I can take a series of pictures of myself.
So
I am beautiful enough for that, after all.
So I think we should all just sit here and mimic Travis's thing, so everybody thinks all of our cameras are frozen.
Is it still frozen?
Yep.
Is it still frozen?
Yeah. What? It's on this contemplative thing here.
Okay.
So he likes playing games with people in Japan. Interesting.
I don't like playing games with people in Ukraine.
Let's all take a moment to contemplate the gravity of what Travis has just said.
The ping is too high.
Kev is really contemplating this ping situation. I wonder if he's contemplating how high the ping would be if he throw a baseball at Comcast headquarters.
I don't have Comcast for a reason.
Listen,
you have a choice?
As much as I bitch about Comcast, and at a corporate level, right? At a corporate level, I fundamentally think that Comcast should be broken apart into little pieces because they're a monopoly, legit monopoly, violating antitrust. They are worse than Ma Bell and Microsoft ever were. And those guys both got the antitrust hammer thrown down on them, but Comcast still gets away with it. Aside from that...
Comcast knows who to pay off.
Apparently. Aside from that, though, I honestly can't hugely complain about them at a low level. Like, they try to accommodate the shit out of me. Like, I got my internet set up with the 250-25 package that they have, their Extreme 250 internet. And not only did they give it to me for a great deal, apparently my modem, which supposedly should have enough bandwidth to handle that speed, wasn't handling it properly. So they more or less gave me a modem for free to use for a little while I wait for another modem to ship to me. Because they knew that I didn't want to rent a modem from them because it's a waste of damn money. It's a ripoff.
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
So they work with me. They essentially gave me the rental modem, but credited me the rental charge. So I don't actually pay for it for a month while I'm waiting for another guy to get here. So, like I said, at a low level, they're people. They're cool. I give them props for that. The internet service, I have not had experienced any interruptions in the time I've used it since last year or whatever. That's not the problem I have with Comcast. And a lot of people mistake it and think, oh, their service is bad, that's why I complain. No, the service is good enough.
Oh, they're a shitty company.
Yeah, the
company themselves are shit.
They have no incentive to do better. Whenever Google Fiber moves into an area and offers gigabit symmetrical internet for $70 a fucking month in the United States, a lot of these ISPs don't know how to handle that. You know how much? It's 2 gigabyte. 2 gigabyte up down for symmetrical internet costs with Comcast. It costs $300 a month. $300. Now, that is after you have to pay a $500 installation fee and then a $500 activation fee.
They charge you $1,000 just to get it?
$1,000 just to get the damn internet, and then they charge you $300 a month after that.
Ooh, the quality of that peasantry's high.
And honestly, now, a lot of people that are going to be doing that, I'll admit, most of the customers in that demographic using that internet are going to be businesses, so they can afford that. But that still feels like a huge ripoff when you compare it to Google having 1 gig. Say we cut their fees in half. Say that, okay, 2 gig up down for Comcast is that $1,000 setup plus $300 a month. Sure, let's cut that in half. That's still $500 setup plus $150 a month. That's still over double what you're paying Google. So no matter how you swing it,
biggest downside to Google, availability.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Well, there's a free option too, where you have a $300 connection fee, and then you get internet free. Granted, it's not a gigabit. It's 100 megabit. Yeah, it's 100 megabit for 7 years for free. You pay a one-time $300 fee. Yep,
and the thing is that their concept is not really to be in the ISP business, although they are. Their initial idea of doing this was to shake up and break up the monopolies. They've already been given AT&T all kinds of hell. AT&T had to restructure the business models in certain cities because of Google Fiber. The problem I pointed out, I think it was to Kev, or maybe it wasn't Kev, I don't know, whatever. The point is that, okay, Google Fiber moves to my area. All of a sudden, Comcast and CenturyLink now have to adjust their prices to be competitive in my area. The moment you step out of Google Fiber's range, prices go right back up. It's literally only where Google Fiber is, and that's the problem I have. That's also why I think Comcast should be broken up.
They're big on non-competes. They're like Nintendo, because Nintendo's not very competitive either.
Nope.
Bringing it back to gaming, of course.
Yeah.
And I feel that very, very, very much so about Comcast as well. But I feel like if you don't have to compete, then they're not going to.
Yeah, that's the truth of it, is that, a company won't compete if it doesn't have to. There's no money in it, right?
Mm-mm.
And that's why
they will do their damnedest to make sure they don't have to compete.
Well, that's why I think Comcast needs to be broken up, is so that way they have to compete with each other. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, getting back on games. Let's go ahead and get moving on to our first story now that I tangent went off on a sidetrack bitching about Comcast. So, Michael Pachter, this poor schmuck, is not good at giving interviews. He claims to have given thousands of interviews without having to have offended any groups. No, the dude's just not good at interviews. I've read some of the past ones he's given. This time, he's an analyst for Webdush Securities, and someone was asking him about PS4 Pro, and would PS4 Pro, more or less convert some PC gamers.
That was the funniest shit I had heard in a minute when I saw that story. I was just wondering we didn't get to talk about it last week.
Yeah, so unfortunately it was a little bit more than a week old, but yeah, so the concept is that he decided that he was going to call PC gamers racist and that they're arrogant twits. Now,
and what the best part about this is too, he came back later and said, "Well, I've never called anybody a twit in my life."
See, the fun.
So we're still arrogant racists.
No. Here's the thing: is that what happened is that so he said that the interviewer kind of pulled a gotcha, took his stuff out of context or whatever, and a lot of people claim that they were misquoting him or fabricating the quote or whatever. So they actually posted up the raw audio, and by raw audio, of course, let's put an asterisk in there. They chopped it up. So here's the thing: is that you hear a question and answer, and I this seemed to be natural. The question, of, hey, do you think people play PS4 Pro or whatever, and where he called them like racists, that was completely quoted word for word. But the part that felt like it was where he called them arrogant twits, actually felt like they chopped, like it felt like there was more being said there that they chopped off. So I kind of questioned whether or not that one was taken out of context, because it was like they chopped the very end as he started a sentence where it sounded like he was saying something like, "No one would say that," as a means of him saying arrogant twit in the context of nobody's calling PC gamers arrogant twits. Right. Welcome to journalistic ethics.
Saying I like PC.
Yeah, no. That's the thing, is I feel like he was saying that nobody's calling them that, and they chopped it up to make it sound like he was calling them that. Now the racist part, though, he totally fucked that up. He straight up called PC gamers racist. Well, he alluded to them being like racists. He said PC gamers are like racists. They don't want to go outside and dally with the weaker races, essentially, that were insular and elitist. The problem is most PC gamers I know aren't.
No. The problem is, I believe most gamers, like there's this weird misconception I hear, and I especially hear it because I'm doing a lot of YouTube, that there's console gamers and there's PC gamers. I don't believe that's true.
No,
because I believe there's a lot of people in between. There's a lot of people. Sure, a lot of people might have like just a PlayStation or just an Xbox, but they might not think about it. Oh yeah, I have a laptop, and I might play Counter-Strike, or I might play Dota, or I might play League, or something like that. I don't think a lot of people consider that.
Frankly, I think
these low resource games that run on a toaster.
Well, frankly, I think there's two types
and then there's not gamers. You either like to watch or read your entertainment, or you like it to be interactive.
Well, no, here's the thing, is it's not just that. There are gamers, and then there are fanboys, right? Because fanboys, and where I'm very specific in that, you have gamers who just want to enjoy the content. Like whatever game, whatever flavor of content that may be, they just want to consume that content. Then you have the fanboys who want the content simply because of an association it has. For example, Uncharted 4 could have been the worst game in the world. It wasn't, but it could have been the worst game in the world, and you would have had some of the Sony ponies out there talking about how it's an amazing game simply because it's on PS4. You know, like that's not a person who enjoys the content. They just want to justify
they want PlayStation to win.
Yeah, well, they want to justify their existence by the success of PlayStation. I don't understand it. I think it's silly, but the world has all kinds. I personally...
Right, that's kind of like, and I've talked about this before too, when people talk about platform preference, I think it's kind of silly to have a console preference because they're mostly the same.
Yep.
At this point, yes.
Yeah, they're like I have both Xbox One and PlayStation 4. They're almost identical.
Yeah, they were
in almost every way. The game performance and UI.
Yeah, there's like I said, PC still does have the edge in premium performance, and I don't think that's ever going to change. That's the nature of the beast. Mm-hmm. But at this point, the gaming experience is becoming identical on all those platforms. Like, for example, now that you have Xbox Anywhere, you literally buy a game on one platform and you get it on the other, and your saves transfer back and forth. So it's
what's weird is they've been doing that. Not Killer Instinct. Quantum Break had that, though it didn't work well. Killer Instinct has it. They started it with ReCore, and I was playing with it this morning with Forza Horizon 3.
Yeah, well, they started it with, I think the first one that did it was the one you just mentioned.
Quantum Break.
Yeah. And then they added it into Killer Instinct right after that. Because obviously Killer Instinct was out before that, but it didn't have the save syncing feature until after Quantum Break.
Right, yeah, because it was the PC version came out after Quantum Break.
Yeah. So it was like and I feel like Quantum Break was kind of really their test bed for a lot of things, which unfortunately I think is the reason why it didn't do so well, is because of the fact that it was testing too many new things. It's the new Windows games platform. It's these new Windows syncing features with Xbox, and then it was an entirely new, well, not new, but a unusual medium of game storytelling that just kind of all
the storytelling was actually really good.
It was. It's just unusual.
Game was the bad part about this game was the performance.
Yeah,
I don't care what you played it on; it performed badly. Well, unless you call 30 frames per second good.
Well, I mean,
it's like I think it's worse on the PC because you could have like a 980 Ti and I think still struggling to hit 1080p 60.
Yeah,
which is kind of,
and unfortunately with Windows games you can't really mod the INI files on them or anything like that.
Yeah, because they're all hidden.
Well, they're not hidden. They're just really bizarrely orchestrated. They're not set up the same.
Something I was thinking about before, a little bit more of a technical reference, how I had said, pixels per inch is where it's at, and is respective to how close you are to your screen. You want higher PPI for, say your phone, which you hold really close, or your TV can be much lower that's farther away. I think the same thing goes with frames per second, too, because, the 30 frames per second on my TV from across the room seems almost the same as 60 frames on my computer monitor. If I see 30 frames on my computer monitor, it looks like complete crap. But if it's on a TV screen when I played on console, before when I still had them, it seemed acceptable. It seemed fine. And also, you look at the VR solutions. If it's anything less than 90 frames, you're getting motion sickness.
Yeah, and I do.
See, I thought that too. But see, I thought it had something to do more with the controller. Because at 30 frames on a controller, it doesn't feel that bad. Yeah. I think, but it feels sluggish on keyboard and mouse for me.
Yep.
But when I play
on PC, at 90% of the time, I'm on keyboard and mouse.
Mm-hmm. I'm a controller gamer, and on PC, if it drops below 60 frames, it looks like crap. It feels like crap. It's really slow and sluggish, even on a controller.
I do feel like
I think it's the distance.
Yeah, I do feel like the distance might be a correlation on there. However, I also think that there's another factor in there as well, is that even though console games are refreshing at 30 frames per second, I think that you don't notice the frame drop as much on TVs because your base standard HDD TV now, it runs at 120 hertz. So you don't run into the like the screen tears or frame holdups, like frame drops that you run.
Oh, there's a lot of screen tearing on these Xbox One games, especially the early ones when the console first came out, like Sniper Elite 3, for example. Screen tearing everywhere.
That means
I hear it's really bad in Dark Souls 3 also.
That means it was running like Xbox 360 games were pretty much capped, all of them at 30 frames, and for the most part, they would run a pretty consistent 30 frames. There were still some games that were bad, but for the most part, they were not pushing the envelope a lot on graphics, so it allowed them to work within that confine pretty well. And I think that because the TVs were refreshing so much faster than the frame output, that, like I said, you didn't notice the choppiness as much. Whereas on a monitor, you have a lower screen refresh rate, which means that any frame drops are much more noticeable. Except if you have a 144 hertz monitor, in which case maybe my theory goes out the window. I don't know. Kev could tell us that if 30 frames per second looks better on 144 hertz monitor.
Honestly, after 60, I have trouble seeing it, but I feel it.
Yeah.
And it's like after playing, like I was playing for a while, I think I told you I was playing Overwatch on low settings, so I wanted that 144 hertz feel. And then I went and played my PS4, and it just felt so sluggish after playing at 144 for so long.
I can believe that.
It's like I lost 110 frames.
Like, well, the thing is that people will say, like, oh, you can't tell the difference between 60 and 144. Oh, you can. You very much can.
I can't physically see it, but I can feel it.
It's a curve, right? So the actual response is a curve. It's not a linear progression in feel, like 30 to 60 to 120, let's say, just for an even number, 30, 60, 120. That's not a linear curve up to those numbers. It's actually a slope. Like the 30 to 60 gap is a lot more significant in response and feel than the gap to, say, 60 to 90 and 90 to 120. Each time you go higher and higher in the frame rates, the amount of response increase you get is less and less each time.
Also, another thing to think about.
I can feel the difference between 120 and 60.
Oh, no, you can. You can. It's just not as much as 30 to 60.
What I was going to say on that, too, is also a matter of, like, your human eye has a continuous input to your brain. Your eye can see a limited number of frames. It doesn't matter. Yep. Your eye can until it's like the frame rate is so high that it matches the speed of light itself, if that makes any sense.
But I was told the human
However,
eye
your brain has different layers of observation to it when it comes to your eyesight, because eyesight is so complicated for the human brain.
Yep.
You have more of the reflex response part of your brain on eyesight, which is more related to hand-eye coordination, and you have, as you say, you feel the higher frame rates and not really see it. It's not the visual image, the picture that you develop in your mind, but your reactions are going to be so much better and smoother with a higher input rate like that than they are with than the other parts of your brain that actually form the picture.
Well, really what it is, and the way I equate it to people, is your brain is an incredibly efficient machine. It will shortcut everywhere it can. So
I'm a machine? Are we like Reapers?
Yes, you are. Your brain is a computer. So the thing is that whenever there are consecutive images displayed too fast for your brain to process, it does fill in the gaps. It blurs them together, a la motion blur. That is why when you're looking at spokes on a tire that's spinning at a fast rate of speed, the spokes will either look like just a blur or they'll look like they're moving backwards sometimes. Is because your brain is just seeing very intermittent clips of that image, or that's what it's showing you, so to speak. And that's the thing, is that natural motion blur is fine. The problem is artificial motion blur, which is what you get when you have low frames per second. That's where your brain
I turn that shit off.
Yeah, well, no, I'm talking just from having, like, there's motion blur in games as a feature of the graphics engine, but I'm talking about actually having low frames per second, and the fact that there's low frames per second and there's nanoseconds of action that's happening in between those frames that creates a blurred effect. It does what your brain is doing naturally, but artificially, right? And therefore your brain is like, wait, what the fuck? I just missed something. What happened? So it's so minuscule that you barely notice it, but that's where you feel like if you get really low frames per second, you feel like, man, this is sluggish. It's not moving right. It's because your brain is like expecting things to more things to be happening that actually are.
The reality is, it's Tyler Durden inserting illicit pictures in between frames.
Yes, that's what it is. So as you're playing Battlefield 1, everybody, and you suddenly have this urge of a penis in your face, it's Tyler Durden.
How you reference that as an urge, that's just disturbing.
That's the best part. So yeah. Anyway, back on topic because we kind of really strayed off of there. So Michael Pachter fails at interviews. Do you guys think that that people really should be focusing on his interview as much as they have, though?
I just like shitting on Michael Pachter because he says stupid shit all the time. And this isn't the first stupid thing he said. This is the first stupid thing he said in like the last couple of years.
So what is your hate of this analyst for a securities company?
I just don't like that he makes stupid projections. Yeah. Like he said that what was it? Before the new consoles came out, console gaming's dead. Everyone's going to PC.
Oh God!
Like, no, there's legitimate reasons to game on a console. Once you get beyond all the tech and all of the other stuff beyond that, if you just want a simple machine to play games on, you sit on your couch and just do that, and you like that kind of experience, that's actually a good reason to get a console. But he said no, consoles are dying.
Well, I mean, yeah, I can see that. And
I know somebody's going to come in the comment section later and say, "But you can hook your TV up to your PC." Well, yeah, but I don't. The interfaces aren't quite there yet. You still have to deal with Windows. You can get a wireless keyboard and mouse, but if I'm going to do that, I'd rather sit at a desk.
Well, yeah. The thing is that there is still a verge between the console experience, because the console experience is a very, it's a walled garden. It really is. As much as people hate that term because of Apple, sorry, you're in the same. You are in the Appleverse of things. It is the same way Apple does it. They have their isolated, venue of store where you buy your stuff. You are allowed to do what Microsoft or Sony says you're allowed to do on those, or Nintendo says you can do on those platforms. You're in a walled garden. But the benefit of that is that they tailor that experience very specifically to the living room, to you sitting down on a couch with a controller and watching TV, movies, playing games, whatever. And I feel like that's kind of the benefit of a console, is the fact that you do have that very handheld experience. Like you're
right.
They're holding your hand essentially, so you don't have to do
I also like that shared experience too, because it feels weird to play. Like I like playing games with my kids sometimes, and to get everybody around the PC, you're just all crowded and everything. I don't know. I like having everybody.
Unless you have my office. So there's no crowding around this PC. You can fill up the whole room and everybody would still be able to see what's going on in here.
Well, it's not that we're necessarily filling up the room. It's that, to get everybody close enough to the monitor to actually see what they're doing, you kind of have to crowd around the screen. And a PC monitor is smaller. So yeah, but yes, you could hook it up to a TV, but then again, you bump into the issue of unless you're using Steam Big Picture mode, which is a great technology, but it doesn't work with everything.
Yeah. And
that's the thing with consoles, it works with everything because everything's unified.
Yeah, and that's the thing, though. And then the other thing, of course, is the very simplistic, and again, goes back to the walled garden thing. Because they have one store platform, they have one, I'm not sure, social platform as well. So you don't have friends that are on Steam, and some that are on Origin, and some that are on... Is it still Battle.net or is it Blizzard yet? I don't know. Whatever the case.
It's still Battle.net for now.
Actually changed
the name. Or even better. Remember when I started pushing everyone to go to Discord, and the kickback I got was like, no, Steam is or Skype is fine.
The fuck?
And then you legit have people that aren't going to leave their team speaks.
Like,
so it's like it's hard to get like a nice good social group together because again, people are all on their chats, and then if you want to meet people in game, it's dead silent most of the time because people don't really talk in game chat on PC. They'll use text chat.
Yep.
So it gets harder to meet people too.
Yep.
And I think because of the limitations of consoles in that respect, it actually makes it a little easier to be social within game.
Yep. And just real quick, what's up, Sean? You decided to hop in and watch the podcast this week. But yes. Yeah, Sean, cats.
Yeah, I know what you meant.
Yeah, but...
It's not showing up on the unified chat for me yet, but I'm on Twitch. So.
No, it's not showing up for me at all either. I don't know. I think unified chat might be broke. Oh, there it is. Okay, found it. Anyway, so, I kind of agree, though, is that, like I said, it's... You have like... PC gaming is very clannish. It's very cliquish. You have these different isolated pockets of gamers and all of these different venues that have their different combinations. It's not even that, hey, if you play on Steam, you're going to use Steam chat. No, you can play on Steam and then use TeamSpeak. And then you can play on Battle.net and use Discord. All these different combinations.
And that's what's interesting too. A lot of console players don't get that. They think that Steam doesn't have party chat. No, Steam has parties, and you can use in-game chat on most PC games. It's just nobody does because you could find a better solution usually. Yeah,
exactly. And I feel like that's kind of the trick of it. And I think that turns a lot of console gamers off. Is that there's so much. It's a very expansive realm getting into PC gaming. Whereas console gaming is easy, it's painless. Just sell your soul to a corporation, and they'll take care of everything for you.
Are we really promoting console slavery right now, or
yeah,
slavery?
Yep. Hey,
the peasantry.
You know what? I'm just gonna throw it out there. Since Black Bond has turned into a fucking fanboy, someone's got to call out the corporate slavery. Someone's got to do it. And
Top Hats and Champagne does a really good job of it.
Yeah,
I watch Rags quite a bit too, and he does too.
I'm just so disappointed in Black Bond. It's ugh.
And now he gonna make a video about you.
You know what? He can make a fucking video. Hey man, stop being a goddamn fanboy and start being objective. How about that? I gave him a very articulate and very logical reason why he was wrong on a video he made. He was hearing none of it. He can't get out of his. He's got his blinders on. He can only see Sony, and that's it. And I'm like, he doesn't even own a PlayStation. How can you be a fanboy of a console you don't even own? That's the part that bugs me.
I have to see this because I haven't seen him say anything about like PlayStation like at all.
Yeah,
he goes after Nintendo and Xbox.
He essentially like made this video where he was talking about how, objectively PlayStation is better and it was the Xbox is irrelevant and Xbox is what did he call it? Niche. He said those two specific things. It's irrelevant and it's niche. And I was like, first of all, those two are mutually exclusive. You cannot be irrelevant and be niche. Niche implies you're part of a very small subset, but it's a lucrative subset and it allows you to stay in business. Whereas irrelevant means that you're not successful, nobody's buying your shit, you're about to go out of business. You can't be both. The other thing I pointed to him, he also made like claims like how, for example, the Xbox 360 got outsold by PS3. And I'm like, no, actually it didn't. Here's some truth for you guys. Here's some truth for you guys. The moment the PS4 launched, PS3 sales tanked, which allowed Xbox 360 sales to go above it again. Yes, that means Xbox 360, in the end, or at least up to date, has sold more than the PS3. The argument was, oh hey, it's PS3 finally in the end outsold the Xbox 360. No, it didn't. It briefly, went over top of it, and then it lost it again, and that was the end of it. So I love that whenever people don't do their fucking homework and they make a goddamn video claiming bullshit. It's like, no, you can't be an intelligent person when you don't do homework. Anyway, I'm gonna stop ranting. Yeah. As Frosted Box said, I
you
need to make a
college
video.
students, here's some sound
I'm
advice.
sure you'll be in a video about it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Well, he subbed to me, so I'm pretty sure he'll see this and respond.
This can be classic. But like, let's.
He's been subbed to me since it started.
Oh, this can be gold. Anyway, let's go ahead and get moving on about Bethesda and their lack of soul. It's a pun. You'll understand. Bethesda is holding a concert to celebrate the launch of Skyrim Special Edition. The edition of Skyrim I called to be a greedy money grab. Well, that's kind of turned out to be the case. I was joking about that. Or I was joking about it that it was secretly them celebrating the profit they'd be making from this money grab. But comically, it was validated by
the console players have to pay for it.
Oh yeah.
Well, never mind.
Not only do they have to pay for it, they have a $75 special edition that has that cheap ass fucking Dovahkiin mask that they handed out for free at GameSpot at the original Skyrim launch. Like the cloth.
GameStop?
Yeah. GameStop.
Man, I was so disappointed with the Skyrim release, which is the only game release I've ever attended, and will probably be the last game release I ever attend.
But in any case, they're throwing a concert this time, and they kind of validated my claim because they essentially they're doing this concert where they're having the London Symphony Orchestra playing the Skyrim soundtrack, and they didn't even bother to let Jeremy Soule, the guy who wrote the fucking soundtrack, they didn't even bother to collaborate with him, saying, "Hey, you got the sheet music for that, right? Can we maybe get that from you so we can have an authentic experience?" Nope. Soule was completely unaware that the concert was even happening until he heard about it on Facebook. Now, Bethesda owns the IP for the soundtrack. It's their music. They can do what they like with it. But do you guys think it's ethically questionable for them to not collaborate with him at all?
I mean,
I don't know if ethics is the right word. More of an asshole move. I don't think it's unethical, but I think
morally gray.
Yeah, morally gray.
I don't even think it's a moral thing. I think it's just you do it because you're not an asshole.
What doesn't make sense to me is that this seems like a business. Like, to me, this seems like a business folly, right? Well, as a
where's
developer,
Matt Howard when you need him?
As a developer, as Bethesda, you would want to stay on good terms with Jeremy Soule, the guy who makes your music for your games.
Yeah.
Like, you don't piss off the guy who makes iconic music that everybody knows.
Well, the funny thing is, though, is I don't think he was the guy who did the Morrowind theme, and let's be honest, Skyrim was heavily influenced by Morrowind's theme.
I mean, Oblivion was too. It's just been iterations after more.
It's a iconic brand sound, and I can't follow that. But the thing is that here's the part, and Kev probably knows a little bit about this at least, that whenever a composer creates music, they have their sheet music for it, for multiple instruments, multiple different parts, whatever. Whenever
at this point, when you just, I'm not sure how they do it in the modern age because everything's MIDI. So I would assume they would probably just MIDI out some sheet music.
Yeah, well, they still write it on sheet music. It just might be a digital file of sheet music. The thing is that because they have to print out the sheet music for the orchestra to play, that's not changed.
Right.
The thing is that
you're telling me they didn't. You're telling me they didn't, chisel stuff on the rocks back in your day. Just
right. But no, the thing is that since they never contacted him to get the sheet music, which he has, that means what they've done is they have transliterated the piece by ear. Which, Kev, if you've ever seen someone do some transliteration, not only is it
never quite right.
It's never right. It never comes out the same.
It's always slightly off.
There's actually a Twitch streamer, Abs Nation, that I watch, who I think several days a week, she actually her stream on Twitch is actually her transliterating music and you can actually go and watch her and see how painstaking and how fraught with errors the process is. I appreciate it because she's damn good at what she does.
It's essentially making a cover.
Yeah, it's making a cover, but covers, an official cover, you actually have the sheet music. You actually can play the notes. This is like playing, this is like a jazz impromptu thing where you just randomly start playing a song by ear. That's what this is. I feel like it, and they're charging people money to attend this concert. That's the problem I have. Is like, kind of feels.
I hope he gets a cut. He's still going to his royalties, right?
Oh no, he doesn't have royalties. He doesn't own it.
See, that's what gets me is like,
well, see,
they already
own
own it, so it'll be just like, hey, we own your shit, just give us the music.
No, he wrote the music for Skyrim. Bethesda owns the intellectual property there. It's like, it would be like if I wrote a score for a TV show. You know, it's I don't own that music.
Really work for hire.
Yeah, I'm producing it for that TV show. It's the same concept. I just find that personally, most TV shows don't have nearly the quality of soundtracks of movies or video games nowadays.
Yeah, well, at this point,
unless you're a Marvel movie, in which case you have crummy soundtracks. Anybody remember any songs from a Marvel movie?
No.
You're just a DC fanboy. That's all that is.
There's a lot of
TV shows know I'm not.
With a lot better and more signature soundtracks than movies at this point. Mm-hmm. Like American Horror Stories soundtrack is very signature.
Actually, yeah, I'll give it that. That one is actually pretty. Like I started humming it.
Magicians recently, and the background music is incredibly mood setting for that.
Mm-hmm. But
you got to bring back the '80s soundtrack.
The thing
bring
is,
back Reading Rainbow.
Here's my concern, right?
Yes.
So I love my Bethesda games. You know, despite me disagreeing with them on this whole Skyrim Special Edition thing, I think from start to finish, the whole remaster thing is a greedy money grab, and I think that's unfortunate. But overall, I still like Bethesda games. You know, I like even like Elder Scrolls Online. Once I got a little bit deeper into it. You know, first taste of it, I didn't like it. But, you know, I actually came to like it once I got into a little bit more. And I figured out where it was weak and where it wasn't weak, you know, and I had a lot more fun enjoying it. My concern is that, so the music community tends to be, like music producers and that sort of thing, tends to be a pretty close-knit group, right? They all know each other, you know, like, or at least a lot of them. Whenever I was involved in that, a lot of us knew each other. Like, oh, hey, yeah, I know that guy. He's from this studio. You piss off someone like Jeremy Soule, you might find yourself with a lower quality production for future games. And that's what really concerns me. Because, let's be honest, you know, like, Bethesda's had some extremely iconic pieces for their Elder Scrolls series. Like, you know, and you're going to just, like, essentially burn that bridge. I feel like that's a recipe for disaster. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
They at least should have said, you know, like, I feel that they at least should have went as far as, like, hey, we're doing this without you, give us the sheet music so we can do it right.
Well, no, it's not even that. I mean, like, even if you want to do it, hey, we're doing this cover. We're doing a cover in tribute to Jeremy Soule. Hey, Jeremy, would you like a ticket to this show? They didn't even tell him.
I don't know. Maybe even be like a conductor or something.
Yeah, like give him box seats. I mean, come on, man. The guy fucking. That's part of what sold the fucking game. Like how people you just say Dovahkiin. Like people immediately recognize that theme and they're like, oh my god, Skyrim.
That entire studio had such a hush. There wasn't even any of the people that he had to have worked with in Bethesda that called him up and said, hey, yeah, we're doing this. And, you know, sorry, our company screwed you over on this, but this is the way it is. Well, no, he found out on the news, on social media news.
Well, the thing is that I feel like what might have happened, the reason why his buddies didn't call him up from Bethesda, well, first of all, he may not have worked with that many people from Bethesda. I can't say that.
They could have also been under a gag order.
Well, that, or it was a third-party company that actually is orchestrating this, because you know people hire third-party marketing companies all the time. Like Bungie is very notorious for working with that one company that did the I Love B stuff for the Halo series. fucking brilliant marketing company, by the way. But they did a lot of augmented reality marketing for a lot of the Halo games. I can't remember the name of the company, but they hired them for that. Just like Bethesda probably hired another marketing company for this. That's my suspicion. So some Bethesda employees in the sound department that he may have known may not have even known it was happening until after he found out. Who knows? Anyway, so the verdict is not unethical, but gray.
Not unethical, but you're an asshole.
Well, ethics and morals come down to being like ethics and morals are it's a guidelines for how not to be an asshole, pretty much.
Well, yeah, like that's the thing, right? Like this might
so
not.
Where it's kind of assholeism, I consider it gray area.
Well, what you have to look at this is that while yes, they hold the rights to this music specifically, like that legally speaking, they're not in the wrong.
Yeah.
But I would say morally speaking, absolutely.
That's where I kind of say ethical, and I don't say legal. Legally, they're fine. Ethically, they are in the wrong, or at least it's questionable. Because to me, the difference between legal and ethical is legal is actually punishable by law in some fashion or another, either civil or criminal law, whereas ethical is it's moral. Right?
See, that's one of the things that seemed to be, like, when I read his post on Facebook, the most upsetting thing to the composer seemed to be wasn't a matter of that he was not involved whatsoever, because they did not even bother to get the sheet music to do it right.
Yeah,
we're doing this, we own the rights to this, we're doing it anyway, can you just give us the sheet music so we can do it right, and you're on your own, if you want in, you got to buy your own tickets. Yeah, that's a dick move, but still, at least they're trying to do it right. He seemed more upset on the fact that they're not even trying to, get it composed right.
Yeah,
right.
Like,
yeah,
a lot of people
just want to be involved.
A lot of people were commenting saying, like, man, you should get paid for that. You should get a chunk of the profits. And he kept reiterating, hey, I don't actually own the music. Bethesda owns the IP. And I don't want money from this. I just want it to be done right. He feels that it's both insulting to him because his music is not being presented properly, in his opinion. It's not being presented properly. And on top of that, Bethesda is charging people for this concert, to which they're getting a substandard product. They're getting a pseudo product, so to speak. It's like paying for an iPad and you get a knockoff Chinese thing in the box instead. That's essentially what he's saying. I'm not saying that an iPad is good.
Basically, you bought it anywhere else.
Here's a quote straight from him. When the London Symphony Orchestra completely changed Far Horizon's B section, I didn't think of it as a compliment. Do we go around changing Beethoven for fun? But if the composer is alive, I guess the music is fair game.
Yeah. And that's his big thing, is that it's like, hey,
I think this is even more evidence of this whole Skyrim remastered thing being a nonsense cash grab. Because if you wanted, like, if Bethesda was really serious about this whole concert thing, we're gonna celebrate the success of our game and it's gonna be a big musical thing. We've got this iconic music, if I was really proud of what I was doing, I would want the person who made the music to be there. I would want him to be involved, if at all possible.
The thing
is, most of the time when they do things like this, the reason it doesn't make the news is because that's what they do. They get the people who were involved in the place, in the concert.
Yeah,
Jeremy Soule should have been there. Should be there, right? He's.
Like I said, least case scenario. Even if they wanted to transliterate it and be dicks, they could have at least said, "Hey, buddy, we're doing this concert. You want a box seat to it?" He probably would have declined because he wouldn't want to see his music chopped up like that. But they didn't even do that. They didn't even have the courtesy to tell him that there was even a concert. That's the part
that's the thing. this concert is like they don't care, right? Like this is like it's a stunt, like to try and generate a little bit of publicity for this cash grab of theirs. And they don't want to. They don't want to spend a bunch of time for money.
Well, no, PC gamers
None of us are paying for this.
PC gamers are not paying for it. Granted that they have the Legendary Edition. Hey, guess what's not for sale anymore on Steam?
Better go Grey Keys.
The thing is the moment that they announced Skyrim, at E3, I think it was, when they announced Skyrim Special Edition, straight up, they immediately took out the Legendary Edition of Skyrim out of Steam and then put it back as piecemeal, the main game and then all of the DLC separate. That was literally what it was.
So that they can release a Legendary Edition, right?
Yeah, well, no, because the special edition,
to buy the remaster.
The special edition is the Legendary Edition. So you can either, if you don't own it on PC right now, the Legendary Edition, either you have to pay $20, $30 for the base game, and then $5, $10, $20 for all of the DLCs each. Or, hey guys, you can pay $40 for the special edition, which has all of the DLC in it. It's a classic marketing tactic of jacking up prices in shortly before you do a major sale.
As much as Morty hates Grey Key sites, this is actually, I think, one of the main was one opportunity where I would say, go get it on a Grey Key site.
If you can find Legendary Edition on Grey Key sites, you know what? I think that's fair because this is
it's there.
It's a
I
service.
saw it on one this morning.
Yeah, it's a service issue to me. I feel like it is an unethical decision for them to do this. If they the thing is that they straight up said, they admitted that they wouldn't remaster Morrowind because it would take too much work. And then whenever you see
I think Legendary Edition, I think I saw it on Humble Bundle a week ago, too.
It might have been.
I'll take a look. I thought it's on the Humble store.
Most of the work's already done for them anyway. They just need to contract it out to the people who started working on it anyway.
Essentially...
Yeah, the Legendary Edition, I'm still on Humble Bundle.
Yeah, so the thing is that they have keys for the Legendary Edition out there. Those are pre-existing keys that were in existence before they broke it up in after E3. So yeah, and like you said, a lot of it. What it is that they're just trying to encourage people to buy the special edition who don't already own it. If you're on console, if you're on Xbox One, PS4, guess what? You have no choice to pay for
anyway.
it. Yeah, you're paying. I don't know if it's gonna be $40 or $60. I know they have a $75 special edition that's a total ripoff. Like I said, they give you this cheap ass cloth mask that fucking GameStop handed out for free at the Skyrim launch 5 years ago.
Now, what I find fucked up about these, when they say they do these too, is they say, oh, well, we have no way to tell if the console players already have the game. That's why they have to pay for it. Yeah. Is there no reason they can't look at achievements and trophies?
Well, let's look at it this way. If
on
my Microsoft account, the store is still the same store. They could literally have an API hook in, like my Microsoft or my Sony account, my PSN account. There could be some way Bethesda would say, hey, can you hook us into your old store just for a simple provisioning check? Was this game provisioned for this account? Yes, no. And I guarantee you Sony and Microsoft have some way of doing that. I guarantee you they have a way of doing that. And then all they have to do, as long as you're using the same PSN account or the same Microsoft account that you used on your Xbox 360 or your PS3, and you had Skyrim, bam, done. Mm-hmm. Now, if you bought the physical copy of the game, yeah, maybe achievements. I don't know. That's the tricky part. Is if you bought the physical game.
I think that's the tricky part too, because digital downloads weren't as much a thing last gen, especially on Xbox. Mm-hmm. I know they
had the digital edition of PlayStation. Because
I think, but that's why I went back to trophies and achievements.
Yeah, but you could have borrowed your buddy's game. The same way. Which was a thing last generation. You could borrow buddies' games.
It's still a thing. Now people do what they call game share, where they basically say, oh, my home console is me and all my buddies' consoles, and then they take turn buying games, and everyone owns the same game digital. There's still everybody puts in like $10-$20 toward it. They still do it, and that's a thing.
Hey, it works. I'm sorry. I like back in the days whenever Xaiphen and I here swapped our Xbox 360 and our PS2. Xbox, original Xbox. Good God, yeah, original Xbox and PlayStation 2. And I borrowed his PlayStation 2. He borrowed my Xbox, and we got to play the other games. And then he went to Iraq and ended up with a modded Xbox that I also borrowed, I think. Yeah, because you borrowed my Xbox 360, and I borrowed your modded Xbox so I could play high-quality games such as Dynasty Warriors.
I mean, that happened. Stuff like that, I think it's kind of... It's part of what makes the console experience great. Like, my cousin lives down the block. He has an Xbox One. He just likes his Xbox. But I let him borrow my Xbox games all the time. I don't play my Xbox as much. So I'm like, yeah, you want to borrow this? Go for it. Go for it. Because when I do buy games on console, I usually buy them on disc.
Yeah.
And I have them in a nice case on display and everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I still think this is a horrible cash grab. They literally put in the minimum amount of work needed.
Oh, I agree.
In order
and I believe all this is a modded version of Skyrim.
Yeah, there is actually some back-end changes. First of all, the game is 64-bit. It does support 64-bit mods now, which is actually a big deal for modders on PC at least, because previously on PC you were capped in certain things because the mods were 32-bit. So that is the big thing that is different. So you can have...
Well, they are adding the mods to consoles, so you're going to get the whole, like they did with Fallout 4 as well.
On Xbox, remember.
Yeah, on Xbox. Yeah, because Sony said flat out we're not doing mods.
Yeah, Sony
unless you can put them through the the Q&A process that they do with games.
Yeah.
So like, that's not how mods work.
Yeah, no.
But people are damage controlling that too. So the Sony fanboys are like, well, they should just do what Sony wanted. Like, that's not how mods work.
That is not how any mods work at all. The second part about it too.
That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
Yeah, that's not at all. That's not how this works. But the second part about it though too is that where is it going? Oh, is that so essentially after that, from what I can tell, they just literally added a retexture pack and an ENB to the game, which is just straight up PC modding. Maybe the mods are 64-bit, so they're a bit higher quality than what a PC modder currently could do. But that's not to say that within 6 months of it being released, that a lot of your modders have their mods updated to have that back-end support and are better than what Bethesda has. It's like I said, it's a cash grab. I really wish they could have remastered Oblivion or Morrowind, and it would have been a better choice. Let's go ahead and get moving.
Well, yeah, but it's like, well, do you want to remaster or do you want to remake? I think if they're going to do that, they have to remake it, as they were doing with Final Fantasy.
Yeah. That's true. Especially Morrowind would probably have to be a full remake. But, in any case, let's get moving on to our last story of the day here. Twitch has now revealed that they are an Autobot. Nobody gets the
somewhat
joke.
Expected.
No, nobody gets the joke. Anyway, so 2 years after being buying Twitch, Amazon officially made a huge move by linking Twitch's existing Turbo subscription to Amazon Prime. So my question to you guys, do you think this was a wise decision for Amazon to do? And furthermore, do you think they're going to make any more changes to Twitch?
Absolutely a wise
I
decision.
expect them to make more changes to Twitch.
I mean,
with very exception, I only see benefits to linking services like that if they already own it.
Mm-hmm. Well, Kev, what changes do you think that Amazon might try to do?
I'm not sure what they're trying to do, but I would find it to be particularly strange if they just bought it to leave it the way it is. Well,
I mean, it was a lucrative system, so
they've owned Twitch for a while now.
2 years.
It's been quite a while.
2 years. They bought them August of 2014. And they.
What up, Osiris?
Well, something interesting is that a lot of Prime users recently have been people have been discussing, stopping their Prime subscription because Amazon has been having much more shipping issues recently. And they can't, oftentimes they can't really control it because they have to go through UPS or USPS or FedEx or whatever.
Prime doesn't, the free 2-day shipping with Prime doesn't usually use the normal channels. Like, for example, I order a product and I get free shipping from USPS or whatever. It'll come it'll come by normal mail. But if and this wasn't just here, this was in other places. But if I order Amazon Prime 2-day shipping, it literally, I kid you not, I'm not even joking, it came in an unmarked panel van. Like,
I've seen that a couple of times before. It mixes up. It depends on
shady
delay. Like, say, okay, you have a Prime authorized seller. It depends on how late they get it pushed out. Because I've seen it sometimes they do overnight shipping, even though it's a 2-day sales. But because I ordered on one day and they didn't send it out until another day, they were forced to pay for overnight shipping.
Yeah.
And then I've seen it use UPS Smart Post because they have advertised listed like a delay, so it'll take a week, not 2 days. It's never. It's no longer guaranteed 2 days. It says something about common 2-day shipping at this point in time. So sometimes it'll be a week, and they'll use UPS Smart Post, which what that does is it goes through UPS, and bulk goes to the U.S. Post Office to your door.
Yeah, and then if you live in New York,
sometime in some bigger cities and such like that, they have the independent couriers, contracted couriers like what you dealt with.
Amazon has their own. Amazon has their own thing. They have Amazon Flex, I think it's called.
Yeah. Oh, the
delivery that Mort dealt with was an independent courier contractor.
Well, the other thing on there is because they also have, I think it's only in New York City in certain areas, they actually have like 1 hour shipping for very specific things.
Yeah, when they deliver it on the drones.
No, they don't have the drones approved yet, but they actually deliver it, bicycle messenger, that sort of thing, where available. Well, they actually have 1 hour shipping. It's pretty cool. But
they also have dedicated pickup spots too.
And another point kind of supporting that is that Amazon is kind of gearing up for attempting their own package delivery service.
Well, yeah, they've been working on the drones, as Kev was talking about for a while.
No, not just drones, like actual
everything.
Like a UPS alternative.
Yeah. There've been there's always been whispers of it, but it's like nobody's really. Because it's such a large undertaking, right? Like, there's been companies that have attempted to do it before, and they've all failed.
Well,
but this is super important for Amazon's business model to be able to control their own deliveries. And so right now, Prime, they're kind of trying to keep Prime attractive to people.
They've been leveraging their cloud
like this.
They've been leveraging
their UPS. Go out of business though, because they have contracts with UPS. If they get their own shipping up and running, UPS will just go under.
Yeah,
they'll get hit so hard with that lack of business.
The thing is that so here's the thing is that and as Osiris was talking about there have been back end changes to Twitch due to the Amazon purchase, because most people don't realize they see the Amazon marketplace. I say that term specifically because that's what it's called. Amazon.com is actually called Amazon Marketplace. It is about 30% of their annual revenue now.
Yeah.
Their 70% of their revenue is AWS, Amazon Web Services, their cloud infrastructure. That's their big tamale. That's where all of their money comes from. They host huge amounts of platforms on that web. They are the largest cloud services provider in the world. They're more than Microsoft, more than Google, any other person out there, IBM, whatever. Amazon is the top dog. And so whenever they bought Twitch, it was an ideal pairing because, then you can host Twitch off of AWS. And it would be huge. But the next thing on there is that they obviously then they recently did kind of an overhaul of the website, which was actually kind of nice. It looks pretty good. Not huge changes. Mostly everything's still where it was, but there's just a few quality of life changes. But then the other thing that was huge is when they tied in Turbo, which I always looked at Turbo and I was like, yeah, that would be nice to have. And then I'm like, dude, it was like, I don't know, what, $8 a month or something like that? It's just like, that's not worth it for the very few ads I see on Twitch. And then when I'm like, but Prime, you get 2-day shipping, you get, which by the way, I didn't realize this until I was just looking into it this time. They've actually switched around a lot of their pricing options for Prime. They have now an Amazon Video $8 a month option. That's literally like, just for the Amazon Video, so it's competing with Netflix and Hulu. However, they also have their full thing, which is either $11 a month or $99 a year. That is the full shebang, the two-day shipping on the marketplace. It's Twitch Turbo or Twitch Prime, whatever. It's all a whole bunch of other stuff. And I feel like they're really pushing the value side of it because, like I said, I didn't feel like really Twitch Turbo was worth the money.
Well, Amazon has been having to cut back on certain things of their, certain parts of their website, right? Like I said, Prime has been somewhat unreliable recently. Mm-hmm. Their whole thing with free shipping, right? They upped the they upped the threshold for free shipping again because shipping costs are, rising. They're doing everything they can to create value within their system.
Yeah. Because
they're having to make cuts elsewhere.
Well, also on their system, they're like Google and Microsoft do. They're trying to create better synergy with their services.
Yep.
They don't have their own shipping service, so they can't synergize that. So they try and make up with it in other ways. As Mort has been saying, and it isn't like there's other synergy you find in their services too. Like say IMDb, which Amazon owns, and Amazon Prime Video. Like I have a Kodi Fire Stick, or not Kodi Fire Stick. I have an Amazon Fire Stick. And I get Amazon Prime videos on there because I have Amazon Prime. And if I'm watching a video and like, hey, who's that actor? What else has he been? I can look it up on IMDb right there. It's automatically linked to it. They actually, I think it's called Amazon Lens or Amazon Zoom or something like that.
So it's
a very handy feature right there because IMDb is one of the best movie media databases out there, if not the very best, and it's linked right into your video watching streaming system.
Yeah, well, and I think now bringing it back on the Twitch topic.
Yeah, I want to enhance that quick too because it actually breaks it down on a scene by scene too.
Yeah,
but yeah, bringing it back to the Twitch topic.
Yeah, so the thing is, and Osiris also had a good point. It's the advertising dollars, but in a different way than they're thinking, because this is a symbiotic relationship between Amazon and Twitch, right? Twitch is now getting more and more onto the national stage with a lot of their ESL stuff, right? They're hell. There's the what was there was a Twitch stream that was actually broadcast on like ESPN a while back. I can't remember.
I think it was for Dota.
I think it was Dota.
Was it for Dota or CSGO?
Something like that. That was actually broadcast on ESPN. Like they're starting to get some really major visibility. And so the back end of Amazon's web services really helps them. And at the same time, being that high visibility, guess who's going to be coming to Amazon because now Amazon's product have such high visibility? Advertisers. So, it is a very symbiotic relationship there. One of the few that I see as mutually beneficial to both companies. But here, I'm going to pause it on the question of what other changes could Amazon make. I'm going to pause a little thing. So a lot of your professional Twitch streamers, right? Sometimes they'll sell merch, right? They'll sell their sweaters or hats or mugs, whatever. Their little merch with their icons on them. Imagine if I'm watching a Twitch stream and they're like, hey guys, I have this mug I'm selling. And someone's like, I want to buy that. And they put it in a box, they hand it to the drone delivers it to you in an hour. Okay, that might be a little bit farther down the line, but the idea of if Amazon then starts up their own shipping company, they would own the entire infrastructure for a potential merch platform for a professional streamer, which is a little bit
basically
scary.
what I'm getting out of this is we're going to start selling PCP t-shirts. Make sure to send all the proceeds to my personal PayPal account, and Morty's gonna have his own drones and send it out there to you. He'll have it there in 20 minutes.
You see that wondrous PCP logo? At some point, those will be on shirts. You better fucking believe it. But despite what Kev says, the proceeds would be split amongst everybody here because even though I do most of the work here, everybody's an equal part if it would come to that because you guys all contribute to the brand.
Everyone
named Kev.
Where else are you guys gonna get reaction faces from, right? I mean,
the frozen camera.
Yes. Look at my awesome reaction face.
The contemplative frozen camera. We're gonna get a shirt made of just that of Travis. There we go, frozen on the camera again. Oh, yeah. So, so I guess the real other question is, do you guys feel like the $99 a year, which is $8 something a month, do you guys feel like that is a good value for what Amazon Prime offers? And don't blind shill. If you don't think it's a good deal, please feel free to diss the shit out of it.
I'm on the fence. That's why I'm not on Amazon Prime. Though I'm thinking about trying it. Especially because right now I still technically qualify for my student discount, even though I haven't been in school in 3-4 months. I still technically qualify for it, so I may try it before they realize I'm out of school.
So yeah, Prime has a student discount, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's $50 a year as opposed to $100.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, that's the thing, right? Like, I don't in my current position, I don't buy enough from Amazon for it to really be.
There's more than just the shipping. Keep that in mind. There's a lot more. I know it's a lot more than just the shipping, but I need to at least use the shipping for it to be worth it to me. So
right, yeah, that's what is great. Like I have a buddy who loves it so much. He orders his daughter's diapers on Amazon Prime.
I could see that.
It's like that. He orders toilet paper.
See,
everything he needs on Amazon.
I think that's coming. If Amazon manages to get their own delivery service set up, controlled by them, like groceries and how they already have the household object type deal going.
They have groceries too.
Yes,
yeah,
they
I know
do.
they have groceries.
So does Walmart.
But
I don't like the idea of ordering groceries online.
Right?
There's just some things you can go to the store and buy.
If I never had to walk into another grocery store ever again, I would be a happy man.
Well, and that's the thing is looking at specific products. I order a lot from Amazon, mostly computer products. Works for my business. The response time, even when they're shipping delayed, is usually unbeatable.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime is worth it to me, but looking at other things, two particular objects, which I agree with Kev on shopping for groceries online, but also along with that, clothes are kind of a bit of a big deal. Unless it is something a product that you have already dealt with in exact dimensions. Say it's just a different color or something, but same brand, same model of a clothing item, exactly how it's going to fit you. Other than that, shopping online is a lot more of a guessing game. You don't especially if you're more particular on certain fits.
I just want to throw out there,
that doesn't work out right.
The clothing shopping thing, #women problems.
God problems too.
I've encountered it a couple times, but
it's hard for me to find things that fit me right.
No, let me tell you something.
For me too, as a big guy, most of the clothes I buy, sometimes they're not even in the stores, or if they are, there's stuff I don't want.
Aren't you?
So it gives me, I have more variety on Amazon.
Aren't you
I have to worry about how every company sizes their stuff different.
Kev, aren't you 6'3" or 6'4"?
Yeah.
So you are actually also tall too. So you have the actual nomenclature of big and tall, right? So
right.
You kind of have to. Yeah. See, I run into the issue of having really long legs, as Xaiphen also can equate to. Of I think he has a smaller waist than I do because I put on pounds because I'm fat. But having a 34-inch waist and a 34-inch inseam is nearly impossible to find in stores. It's a pain in the ass. 32, 34s, when I had that waistline, that was even harder. Yes,
I know.
Yeah.
Shit. But like the thing is finding that even online. It's like some people say, "Oh, this is 32, 34," and you find out it's European measurements or some other poorly advertised crap like that. And it's the same thing on like dealing with food too. It's like, all right, this is the type of food that I like. Say it's a pineapple or something like that, or apples, or so it could be something simple, but like. Especially when it comes to food, like smells, look, how it feels. If it's not like in a sealed up container, if it's like a fresh food like veggies or something like that, that can really impact the sales point.
Well, there's
I really don't want to worry about USPS sending me ground beef.
Well, no. So check this out.
Well, I mean, you want to buy it from Trump?
Trump steaks, everybody. Trump steaks. You heard it here first on Amazon.
I know we're kind of focusing on the things that we don't want, like we wouldn't, have shipped to us. But like, how much of a percentage of the things that we wouldn't have shipped to us are the items that we consume, right? Like, for the most part, most of what I use, I could just get. I mean, there's only a couple of things that I would want to go get in person.
Right, and the more I think about it. It's like mostly what I buy with extra cash. I buy tech. I buy computer hardware, or I'll buy games. I got my fight stick. I got that on Amazon because I couldn't find one locally. But I went around looking for it. Well, I went and tried to find one locally first. So that I got on Amazon a couple months ago. Other than that, like mouse, keyboard, my Leviathan sound set, my Man of Wars, I got those all at Best Buy. Best Buy's like 5 minutes from my house. So why pay for shipping? And then on top of that, wait a couple days when shipping costs a little less than tax, at least here.
Rogue
so I just drive up the block and go get it.
Yeah.
So for me, like Amazon, I already have Amazon Prime, and it ends up being cheaper than making the run to Best Buy, even with how little gas it uses to make it there.
Yeah.
Because Amazon prices, or Newegg prices for that matter, are better than Best Buy.
In some cases,
Best Buy price match it. I price match everything at Best Buy.
Price match.
But the thing is
I price match to Amazon.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. So about grocery shopping on the internet, I do want to throw out and dispel some myths. Although some of the grocery shopping that like you do are a little tricky because you don't know what you're getting. There are actually online shopping services where a person goes out to that store to shop for you. Yes, because the height of fucking laziness. And they will actually take pictures. You say you want some apples. They'll actually take pictures of the apples and give you like a little video of what they're buying, and you can see if it's like bruised or whatever. You know what you're getting, type of thing.
Do they taste it for you too?
Right? They might as fucking well eat the food for me. Like I can't stand that. Like it bugs the hell out of me.
Like I seen services of this from Safeway. For groceries, but it was for the elderly.
I feel like this is a little bit out of my class level. Like I'm not.
No. Listen.
I don't have enough monocles.
No. Travis. People with money don't pay other people to go shopping at Walmart for them. At Walmart.
Well, no, I think this is Travis's youth, because Travis is a bit younger than the rest of us.
Yeah,
the rest of us, we're married with families and everything.
Monocles and shit. I mean, really.
Monocles.
But I think that's where the life experience for the three of us kind of trumps Travis' experience, just because he's so much younger than we are.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is that super rich people, they have assistants to go do all their shopping for them. That they may or may not be paying for that. They don't even pay for the groceries. See, that's the thing. When you're rich, you find that you pay for less and less the more money you have. It's really bizarre how that works. Like Donald Trump doesn't pay taxes, so I don't actually. That's uncorroborated. I don't actually know if he doesn't pay taxes. I just felt like making that joke.
That's what he claimed. He claimed he didn't pay taxes.
Okay, he claimed he didn't pay taxes. Whatever. That's still uncorroborated. I have not seen his tax returns or know if the IRS has taxed him. Whatever. That's irrelevant.
IRS, please look into this.
Yes, please look into this. We need confirmation. Anyway, so
you can email us back.
So Twitch, I think, has a very very good possibility of becoming an augmented reality service within the next 15 years if Amazon keeps this up. Because, pretty soon you're going to, like, your favorite titty streamer is going to be a holographic projection in your office. And you can buy merch from her, in which case it will materialize right in front of you because Amazon, right? That's the only way those titty streamers will actually get any attention. Because people click on their streams and then see that they're completely...
What you talking about?
Well, they see the picture and they're like, oh, look, cleavage. And then they click on the stream and they go and they watch it for 30 seconds and they're like, this chick is boring as hell. I see now why the cleavage is necessary. And then they leave and they go watch someone interesting. Yeah. So it's pretty much, the moral of the story is that cleavage does not trump personality when you're a streamer. Which is why, unfortunately, Kev isn't that popular on Twitch. I'm sorry. That was pretty low blow. I'm just jealous because I still wear a training bra. Anyway, let's go ahead and start getting close.
But this conversation is spiraled out of control.
Yeah, it's kind of went downhill. Let's go ahead and go ahead.
Look, my connection is acting up, guys.
Anyway, let's go ahead and give our final thoughts. Travis, final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Amazon will take over the world, along with Google.
Good God,
we're all doomed.
Yeah,
they own our souls. I, for one, welcome my new masters, something or other along those lines.
Corporate slave. You heard it here first, everyone. Travis is a corporate slave.
Kev. A willing corporate slave.
Yeah, I saw him on that Xbox the other day. I was very disappointed.
What do you mean you saw me on that Xbox the other day?
I saw you on Xbox 360, and I sent you a message saying I was very disappointed.
He doesn't have gold. Come on now.
He was probably watching Netflix.
Yeah, he doesn't have gold. He can't get your messages.
You can now. They changed that when the Xbox One came out.
Did they?
Oh, is that what that message I didn't read?
No, I think that's only on Xbox One. If you're still on 360...
No, I got it.
Oh, okay. He just didn't read it. He just didn't read it, that's all.
I just didn't read it, no, because I don't use, like, Xbox 360 for anything but YouTube and...
Yeah, I was giving him shit because I saw him on the Xbox at all.
That's funny. Kev.
He still has 360.
Kev, stop being a peasant. Gamer.
You what?
Stop being a peasant.
Yeah, just remember, you said you were thinking about buying an Xbox One.
Actually, I believe I said I was thinking about a PS4, but I just can't really... I said I want to get a PS4, I just can't justify that. There's no point to it. I just end up playing it on PC anyway.
See that I remember that conversation. I remember going the other way. You said that about Xbox because you couldn't justify it because
that's right.
Literally every game on Xbox.
You're right. I forgot.
The Xbox Play Anywhere.
Yeah, because Play Anywhere, I would end up just playing on PC anyway.
Exactly. Kev won.
Yeah. Osiris is confirming that he is in fact an Xbox One peasant.
Well, shout out to Osiris too. He actually has decent little Linux gaming channel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know Xaiphen was also interested in that, but he'll get to that in his final thoughts. Let's give Kev a moment to actually do his speaking.
So yeah, Kev the Gamer. Check out my new Twitch channel. I decided to set up a new one because I couldn't remember the password on my old one. Kev plays games live. So I'm doing that. I'm starting to Twitch 3 nights a week, Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Tuesday and Thursday, depending on how I'm feeling after work, honestly. But Sundays, I'm almost always there. 7 p.m. Pacific. Still doing YouTube as well. Ready for Gears 4, ready for Mafia 3. But I'm not pre-ordering a damn thing.
Nice. Xaiphen.
I might buy a day one though.
Xaiphen, did you fall asleep?
No. I've just been listening.
Final thoughts and also comments about Linux gaming.
Oh, Linux gaming. Yeah, they really need to. They need more people jumping on board with that. Valve was doing a good job trying to push hard on that, but it's just not enough. It needs to be better. Linux is an awesome system to deal, or awesome kernel to deal with. Linux systems are great to deal with. People just get confused when they hear the name Linux. Like, oh, I don't know about it. It's too complicated. Like, no, it's simple. It can be. It can be not. Whatever you want. It's whatever you want. That's what Linux is. But yeah, and streaming. Yeah, I'm trying to work my way into streaming, but at this point, it's going to be limited at like Saturday night, Friday night, maybe something like that. If I can keep it going.
Yeah.
You know the interesting part that I'm learning about streaming, it's similar to YouTube. If you have a schedule and you're consistent with it, you can build.
Yeah, that's the idea.
Well, no, for me, my internet connection is where the sketchy part comes into play, and that's why I'd be limited to Friday or Saturday.
He's in the boonies, where Comcast doesn't exist, so therefore
lucky.
Instead he's got the worse evil of a local cable company that charges them ridiculously for crappy internet.
Local cable company that is piggybacked on Time Warner's backbone.
Time Warner's another. They're just as bad as fucking Comcast.
So yeah, my local cable company, I deal with their a little bit better policies, but in favor of that, and get crappy quality of service, or not quality, speed of service, crappy speed of service. In turn for that, they're going to bat for me by dealing with Comcast sales representatives, or not Comcast, Time Warner. Nice. Same difference.
That's cool though.
So I was thinking about starting my own internet and cable company called Lovecraft, so like some Lovecraftian
Cthulhu?
Cable company. Cthulhuian.
Sorry, that's actually, as I found out, that is because incorrectly pronounced. It's Cthulhu. It's Cthulhu. That is actually how it's pronounced. Cthulhu.
So how's that?
Topic of local internet providers too. It's weird to hear that Xaiphen having a local service is bad, because I only use local services.
Well, no, you're in a major metropolitan area. That's different. He's in a rural area.
Their customer service is great. For the most part, their technicians are unknowledgeable. At least compared to me, I can deal with things better than their technicians can. However, it's the speed of the service speed packages. Like, I'm paying the amount I'm paying for 10 megabits down and 1 megabit up on people who are on Time Warner's main lines. Pay that much to get 70 and 5. So yeah. I'm getting 10 and 1 for this, for the price of 70 and 5 or 70 and 10 from Time Warner main connection.
Yeah,
because
why are you getting so low speeds? Is that due to
and I do not have to deal with contracts. I can easily change my plan, drop my local company anytime I want, or anything like that. There's some advantages to that. It's like the difference of dealing with prepaid phones versus contract phones. You got the big company contract phones. Well, the prepaid phones all use the big company's networks anyway.
Yeah, but the difference is like Cricket, who piggybacks off of, I can't remember who they piggyback off of, if it's AT&T or Verizon or whatever.
I think Cricket is Sprint.
Well, a lot of them use whichever network is most abundant for the area. So they have varying devices.
I'll throw it out there to Osiris on there. I pay 30% less for the same speed you get. That's what I'm talking about. When you live in major metropolitan areas, usually you get better speeds for less. That's where if Kev would probably look at joining the dark side and getting Comcast, or I think they might have Verizon in that area.
We don't have Fios here. We have where I live at.
Of course,
the city itself has its own infrastructure. But if I were to live closer to the actual city of Seattle, then I would be able to get Fios.
Yeah, well,
I believe fiber's actually it's coming to, or it's actually in Seattle city limits too.
Yeah, it's and like I said, Google Fiber lists Portland as a potential city. They don't have plans there yet, but yeah. In any case, though, I'll kind of give my my 2 bits on here. The internet definitely depends on the area. I feel like we were going back to the conversation we had before on that, but obviously, yes, we're going to have a lot of us streaming here coming up in the future. Hopefully Xaiphen will be able to get something figured out. Kev's going to be streaming. Also, another one of our Pixel Crasher folks, DM Rogue, who's in the chat there, also going to be starting up scheduled streaming too. He intermittently streams right now, but we're going to try to actually get some kind of cohesive schedule together so you guys can have a more varied amount of content from us, at all hours of the night. So Travis is going to be the guy streaming at 3 a.m.
Rogue, I need you to get back on the Division with me, bro.
Yeah.
I'm starting to hit the dark zone, and I don't want to hit that shit solo.
Yeah. But in any case, and obviously now I don't know, Kev and I are going to have to work out something with scheduling there because, I have that 7 to 9 p.m. Shift lockdown on the weekdays. So I think Kev is going to have to stream overnight, like maybe 2 or 3 a.m.
Yeah, that's it.
I don't know. Anyway, obviously, this today will mark the my re-entrance back into my streaming schedule. I was off for nearly 2 months as home stuff was getting situated. That is situated now. Games are back up and running, and as you guys can see, I now have a proper office with too many screens that would drive normal people mad. But I'm apparently masochistic.
Like
6.
All running off that 650 Ti, 660?
Nope. No. I have.
You upgraded.
I have no. I haven't. That's still the same desktop for now. No, I actually have a laptop that's running a Quadro 2000 on it. So that guy.
I thought you were split
okay.
iGPU and discrete GPU.
No. Nope. I'm running 3 off of the laptop and 3 off of the desktop, and that way I can have an independent computer for monitoring, which is what I'm doing. That is the screen that you all folks can see right here. That's the only screen that is actually in your view. This is me watching all of you. But yeah, in any case, though, I will, be getting back into, regular streaming now, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. I don't think I'm gonna assign games to days like I did before, just because that was a little bit cumbersome. I'll just have a list of regular games in a rotation, such as Dragon Age Inquisition, Mass Effect 3, Overwatch, and Warframe are the 4 that are currently in a rotation that I will be, regularly playing throughout the week. And then I'm also going to have a Saturday stream in the afternoon, probably about 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific or so, thereabouts. And that way, I have a little extra bonus stream for you guys. In which case, I'll probably ditch the rest of these fuckers and play some single player games because they're not cool.
Well, Saturday's my errands day, so
yeah, exactly. But obviously,
as soon as we get off this podcast, I'm running errands.
Yep. Obviously, if all you guys are new to the stream here, we should have a nice little block of nonsense down below on YouTube with a bunch of links to, well, at this point, the Pixel Crasher stuff, mine and Kev's, that will shortly be updated with Xaiphen's and, maybe at some point Death Shroud's. But definitely check us out on our Discord. That way you can actually communicate with us. That's something I want to throw out to Osiris there, is feel free to join our Discord server if you're gaming on PC. There's a bunch of us in there that play a bunch of different games, although the largest group right now is on Overwatch. But in any case, though, we're going to go ahead and sign off this week. And then we'll be back again next Saturday morning, bright and early at 9 a.m. for all you guys out there that are in Europe. That's much later, obviously. And we'll catch you guys all next time on the Pixel Crashers podcast.